So in the companies that I work with, basically they open up the presentations with facts and percentages and statistics and things to build their case. So when you have a 50-year-old CEO who's been in business for 30 years, he cannot truly believe, from having thousands of experiences of going to pitch and sell and trying to get things done, that facts and information change people's minds and sell stuff. Yet, and I have a thesis on this, and we'll see if we think about it the same. Why is it Groundhog Day? If they know facts don't persuade, these are not emotional arguments. Like, you could take every single one of those guys who are giving that presentation and say, do facts persuade or is emotion more persuasive? Oh, emotion, you got to tell stories. But then they turn to the facts. What are you seeing in the boardroom? Like, why, even though people know today what's right, they still default to what's wrong in just the basics of business psychology?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of challenges, right? First, facts feel valuable. They feel useful. They feel persuasive. Well, how am I going to tell someone what to do if I don't have any ammunition behind me? But if I have numbers I can point to, numbers feel safe, feel like a foundation that makes our argument more valuable. But I would even say with emotional stories, and by the way, I'm a big believer in emotional stories. I think emotional stories can be very valuable, but even emotional stories can still be pushing. Right? Emotional stories can still be, well, let me tell you why you should use this, and I'm going to give you an emotional story about why you should use this, rather than saying, well, hold on, why aren't you using this at the moment? Right? Why aren't you doing this already? What are the things that are, is it information? Is it something else? I was working with a client a few years ago that they basically make software that helps companies find machine parts. So imagine you have a whole bunch of John Deere backhoes, or you have a whole bunch of other sorts of machinery. Every once in a while they go down, you need to find parts. They help you find those parts and do it quickly. And they were trying to tell people all the reasons why they should buy from them. And we stepped back and we said, well, wait a second, let's create the customer journey from awareness all the way through, and let's think about what the barriers are. So some people are not aware that you exist. That's clearly a barrier, right? They've never heard of you. Some people are aware you exist, but don't understand what the value proposition is. Some people understand the value proposition, but don't think they have the problem. Other people think they have the problem, but think it's too expensive. Other people don't think it's too expensive. They're worried it won't integrate with their existing programs. And so moving through there, we're able to say, well, what are the different barriers that are getting in the way? And notice the solutions are very different depending on what the barriers are. If it's information, let me list all the information. But hold on, if it's price, or if it won't integrate with my existing systems, those are two very different barriers. If it's price, maybe we need an introductory offer. If it won't integrate with the existing systems, maybe it's, well, let's raise our price actually and offer white glove service where we come in and do the integration for you. The more we understand about the people, whether those people are individuals or companies that we're trying to change, the more effective we can be. You know, if you go into a doctor's office, doctor doesn't start by saying, hey, let me put a cast on your leg. Doctor starts by saying, well, wait, tell me about the problem. And only once they've understood the problem do they prescribe a solution.
Not that the facts are useless, or you shouldn't start with facts. And what I love what Jonah said is facts are used to take down specific barriers. So facts, I think, and information are used to tear down barriers that are known to exist. And if you're just like taking pot shots at sticking points when you lead, I love this. We just dissuade people from starting out presentations with statistics, facts, and information because it's not emotional. We don't find it persuades and everything like that. But I think a nuance that you've added is that you're just taking pot shots. You know,
yeah, I mean, what's the problem, right? As you sort of alluded to there, if the problem is, hey, they don't believe that companies use you, well, then that's a great fact. But if that's not the problem, then it's not the right solution, right? In some sense, before you figure out what the right solution is, you need to understand the problem. You got to start with the root. If you have a yard and you garden it all and you see weeds, right? The easiest thing is just to pull the top off the weed. That's the fastest. Then the weed grows back. Right? If you don't find the root, if you don't grab the weed from the bottom, it's just going to come back. You've got to figure out what that underlying issue really is and address it specifically.
If you're planning to become a deal maker at this level, make sure to join the Daily Dealmaker. We get into one little piece of this daily, and so you're just stacking and stacking and stacking these tools and tactics and strategies until they come out of you as naturally as they come out of me and the people that I work with. Add the tips, tools, strategies, tactics a little bit every day, and by the end of a year, you'll be a totally different, new, improved person and a very strong deal maker.